Guys, I'm just kind of getting a test run here. Can you hear me now? LH, I'm just getting something set up. Awesome. What's up, Flex fan? Long time no talk to. So I'll go ahead and get started. I just wanted to make sure we had somebody in the room before I just started rambling on here. But here's the bad news. Old Mr. Droopy Butt here. Old Droopy Butt here has wandered off the path. He's lost his path. He said he was going to pick up his cross and jump back on the path, but he's off the path now. And I'm wondering, you kind of have to wonder, does he have two left feet? Because he constantly is into and out of the path. I'm going in and out of the path, right? And now this is just so desirable. Everybody just wants to see a man with old man ass showing it publicly on his business channel. Oh, watch it wiggle, see it jiggle. I'm telling you, man, this old man ass, he was moving. You can't tell it right here, but whenever you watch the video, he just kind of moves a little bit. That little stuff just shaking all over the place. He's trying to flap it out there like a flamingo, trying to draw somebody in. And here's the worst part, because you could look at this and say, hey, man, this is the quadfecta of what any investor is going to want, right? You want a business that's got a dirty shed with a poop bucket, pee in it, just maybe 4 feet away. You want somebody who's got these old clunky projectors that are nasty as well, smudges all over them. We have a pretty good idea where those smudges come from. I hear you, Flex, man. Yeah. Well, you have to wonder, does he have a plumbing background? Which, if he did, you'd think he'd put some plumbing in that little place. So I'm going to say probably not. Maybe in a past life, but he doesn't have any plumbing skills this time, unless it's somebody he's just trying to shake that out there, trying to entice somebody to plumb him from behind. It's sad, and this is the same guy who was just talking about walking down the road, and he had chicks looking at him as he was going down the road, because of the chest. Oh, got the big chest. What is that hanging out of the sleeve there? Wait, oh, sorry, that's his arm. I thought it was a string. But he was going on about these women looking at him as he walked down the road. Now, can you imagine? Okay, first of all, it'd have to be a pretty ugly woman, probably driving by in a beat up OGO Metro, right? That would stop, try to talk to him, and he's going to jump in, slink down to talk to her, and then he's going to give her that big toothy smile. Look like the the ass end of a water buffalo smiling at you. So he's been out there, and I say he wandered off the path, okay, because he was talking about, I'm going to get back on the path because I don't need to be worried about these guys. And in less than a day, as always, in less than a day, he's back at it and doubling down, right? So you got to think about it. I mean, just practicality. Once again, quadfecta. What investor wouldn't want a piece of this? I mean, think about it. You got the shed, you got the nasty projectors, you got obviously his nasty screen, which I'll get to here in just a second. But also looking at him, I mean, it's just nasty. The shirt he's got on is absolutely filthy. Not only is it filthy, it's on inside out, which means he's already had it a week. He's already wore it a week and now switched it over to wear it again on the other side. It's just pathetic. Sad, sad, sad meat. But he was doing this demonstration, and it's really kind of sad because I'm going to try to see if I can find it. He was using uh, this one. Hold on. You put a couple of little panels up. So let me get to where he had that. But you notice right off the bat just how nasty the screen of his looks. I don't know. I was thinking maybe it was before, but it could be after. Let me see. It may have been after. Because the first time I was watching this, guys, I actually did not catch him showing his crack habit. Let me see if I can get it to where he shows. He puts a couple little panels up. And while he's in the way, hold on, let me see if this is it. Maybe right in here. Now, keep in mind, now, well, actually, I'll get to that in just a second, but he's going to put up one of his little panels with some of his little box stickies there. I want you to see how dark that screen goes by comparison. Look at that. Look at that. And he's telling you he's beating that screen. That screen is getting its butt. See how when he moves away, all of a sudden it goes overly bright, but it never goes blown out like he normally tries to do. And you can see, I mean, anybody with any sense is going to pick this over that all day long. I mean, this is kind of like being out in the desert where you see a light maybe 10, 20 miles out in the distance, and you wonder, is it a gas station? Is it a street light? Is it Ken's screen just a foot from my face? You just don't know. But you can see here, he's using 3,600 lumens, all right? 3,600 lumens to make a little bitty screen here. So you can see what I'm making here on my panel, 1,600 lumens, and is doing a much finer job. Much finer job. So no, I don't get all bothered by what he says about the screens. Actually, I want to clarify something because the other day, I was kind of let off on him. I'll hold in a lot of my thoughts and I don't say anything. I'll just kind of joke and take advantage of, being able to make fun of him. But the things that irritate me that he says aren't about me. It's not really about my screens, about my application process or any of that stuff, right? When Santa Claus with the bowl full of jelly ass starts talking about, say, Silent and Phantom and Guy Next Door, when he starts talking smacked about them, because these people are just putting out facts. I know, he's not going to like it. I know he's going to try to attack them. But, to me, it's just like, you want to come after me, come after me. You want to go after Crow, go after Crow. These other guys, Silent actually tried to be decent with him whenever all of this first started. And he's done nothing but just tried to humiliate Silent in every way that he can. And I just find that pretty disgusting, pretty cheap, even by old man butt standards. It's so funny to listen to him talk through this stuff because for one, his grammar's for shit. He can't half speak. He was trying to say specific the other day, and he kept saying Pacific, like he says Horizon for Verizon, manipulate for manipulate. But he's a professional. You guys know that, right? He's a professional who eats paschetti every day. But that old man ass cracks me up. See, this is kind of one of those things where you say, hold on. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Kids, say no to Cheez-Its. That's what they'll do to your ass. Cheez-Its will give you old man ass. But one of the things I wanted to show real quick, and I know probably some of the guys who will catch this a little later, this is key because I showed a piece of it yesterday, but this is the most important part. So it has been published to the PTO, USPTO site, excuse me. So Ken himself can go out and look it up on the USPTO site. It is live. So I will be tomorrow issuing a letter. Doesn't have to be certified or anything stupid like that, but I'm going to, because I don't have to issue him anything. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to issue him a letter where he can license the use of Fusion Light Energy, FLE, for $300 for the first year. We have to renegotiate after that, but $300 for the first year. If he does not take that, if he does not choose to license it, at the end of that 3 days, I will be sending trademark violation notices to Wix, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok if he's out there. What's up, Brother Derek? We were just talking about this. Thought you might want to see it. Do you know it was a full moon out today? Told him, I said, that is the prime example of old man ass and why kids should stay away from Cheez-Its. I'm just going to tell you, I have for many years, the closest to anyone I've ever known like him. Whenever I was a boy, I was working for my uncle. He ran a wholesale operation, auto wholesale, in downtown Spartanburg. And we didn't sell there on the lot initially because we were wholesale. You got to have a retail license. But he decided for a little while he was going to try to sell retail since we were in a great spot and had a lot of foot traffic that came through. So we had opened up, and me and my cousin actually kind of acted. My cousin and my aunt Vera used to kind of go out and work with customers for sales. And there was a guy that used to come around always trying to sell some slinky stuff, either fake gold chains, and that's the reason I've used that analogy a few times with Ken. But we had this guy that would come on and he would be trying to sell chains and all kinds of crap to people that were on our lot looking at our cars. So we politely asked him to leave. And initially he did. And then he started getting to where he was he'd get nasty with us. Like he was going to tell us what we were going to do on our own property. And eventually what it led up to is I knocked 2 teeth out of his mouth and told him he better get the heck out of there. He called the police. The police came, told him what happened, told him we'd ask him to leave. He got smart with us. He came up close to me and acted like he was going to get violent, and I knocked the hell out of him. And so the police put him in their police car and took him away. He never came back. But that's the kind of show of force that you have to do with a guy like this. Yeah, that's what, I hear it. But, and he may be, but it's not because of any decision he made. It's probably something that came up and he has to. He either needs to get out, he's getting kicked out of that shed, whatever it may be, right? Whatever it may be. But Mr. Santa Claus ass right here, bowl full of jelly, really should be more practical in how he presents his business. Because, like I was telling them before you got here, Brother Derek, I mean, this is definitely the quadfecta of anything an investor would want: a nasty shed with a poop bucket, nasty projectors with smudges all over them, probably from his wanking himself hands. And then you've got tons of USPS boxes stolen there. And then you've got his screens, which are nasty, but then you got him. Like I said, this shirt, and you may have covered this already, but that shirt's on inside out, which means he's already been wearing it for probably a week and just flipped it inside out now. But it is filthy. I mean, everything about this guy is a tetanus shot. Okay. He's a staph infection waiting to happen. Yeah, that could be, Guy. It could be. It could be that he has some sort of upcoming lawsuit. I know the one thing that's not going to happen is I'm never going to get my court date, right? That's never going to happen. Never going to happen. So I don't know if you guys were here, but I just showed the email where the USPTO has now published it. My trademark is live. So now I can send him a letter. I'm going to give him an option. He can license it for $300 the first year. We know he's not going to take it. I'm doing that for my purposes because I want to be able, if I have to take him to court, I'm going to show the judge that I gave him not only the opportunity 3 days to remove it, but I told him he could even license it. If he wanted to keep using it, he could license it. So I'll send Ken an email. He get the email from me. And at the end of that 3 days, if he chooses not to license it, which we know he's broke, right? He ought to call this the BAFAS channel, BAFAS, broke ass fitness and scams. We know he doesn't have any money. So if he can't pay for the licensing, then I'm just going to send the trademark violations over to notifications over to Wix. I think you may know more about where he is than I do. I know he's on Wix and Facebook. Uh, I, and I know he's on YouTube, obviously, but I don't know. He may be on Instagram. If he's on Instagram and TikTok, then I'm going to send him there too. So if he doesn't react, he'll have his stuff taken down. He has out of the, yeah, I heard him saying something about people from, I think he said China. He don't have any investors. There's nobody investing in him unless they wanted to use him for a lab experiment to see how bacteria grows in somebody's ass crack. He learned from AV Forms. Yeah, he hadn't learned anything. If there's any one truth that I've seen over time, is that he doesn't have the capacity to learn anything. Even the things he thinks he knows, he only knows superficially. Facebook, Instagram, and he is. Okay. All right. So, I'll know where to send them then. But the bottom line is the FLE trademark, FLE Fusion Light Energy, now belongs to Partay. It really has technically since we filed, but now it's totally protected. Okay. He cannot violate the trademark. He does have TikTok also. Okay, good. Good to know, man. Appreciate it. Internal War of Gods, 777. He did a showing for his neighbors to get his feelings hurt. They bought nothing. Yeah, I heard you mention that. That I haven't seen. And I have to confess here, I'll watch a few videos here and there when I can. I just don't have the time. Some of those videos get really long, and quite frankly, Brother Derek, he's boring as hell. I mean, some of this stuff you're sitting and listening to him just mumble and talk a bunch of nonsense. And once again, he'll swing from, how he taught himself to neuter cats, to something to do with the damn projector, but it's all over the place and none of it makes any sense. And in between, he likes to throw his little jabs in. I think that's always why he's made such long videos. One, he doesn't have anything better to do in life. But secondly, he likes to sort of interject things along the way so that it's kind of hidden. He can get it out of the system and let some people hear it, but he thinks that most people aren't going to hear it. The only thing is that there's always somebody watching that tells everybody else. Which name he uses on TikTok? I don't know. One of the TikToks I have from Ken is gone. Got it catching him if he makes it worth it. I fast forward him. Yeah, me too. And I just kind of scan, I just kind of use my thumb and just kind of scan through to see some things, to see what he's doing. But like his walk and talks, I can't listen to that crap. I mean, yeah, talking a bunch of smack about marriage, then talking a bunch of smack about kicking people in the head and how, he's gonna now. The one thing I heard that I thought was absolutely asinine is that he's going to trade off teaching some of his new staff some jiu-jitsu or judo or whatever the hell kind of monkey shit he thinks he's got out there for them to do work for him, and that's not happening. And there's no way. Yeah, he wandered off his path and found a facility, a new, nice, big facility that he's going to be able to work. Yeah, sure he did. It's over on the Fairyland side of Allentown. I've seen some of his screens on Pinterest. Not sure about the FLE. Well, most everything that he's put out of recent has been somewhat FLE around. But once again, it's going to have to go because even if he doesn't take it down, YouTube will. All I got to do is say, look, anywhere where he has FLE listed in his YouTube ads, and those are what they are. He's a business. He's running ads for an FLE product that he does not own the rights to. So they got to go. It isn't his choice. He's going to put the screen on the museum. What museum? Yeah, just like he finished the African American museum at the Caring Place. That never went off, which we knew that wasn't going to happen. Where are you going to hang ultra short throws in such a narrow hallway? There was no way possible that was ever going to happen. But that's his ignorance. He talks about his daddy. His daddy taught him fish and hunt, and his daddy taught him, how to make things, how to build things. He can't screw a screw in straight without stripping it. Postal Office Museum. Ken won't say anything. He says he'll whoop us all at the same time. Oh yeah, he's definitely a dreamer. Trust me. Listen, I'm not one who talks a bunch of big stuff, but people around me know I'm not one to be messed with. I will not be manhandled. I will not be touched, and I will not be offended. But so far, and then whoop ass comes out. So he doesn't scare anybody. Like I said, was that a string hanging out of his arm? Excuse me, no, that is his arm. Ken doesn't think things through. Yeah, he doesn't. Well, because he knows he doesn't have to. Okay, he can go to the security of his little nasty shed there and hide away from the world. And no matter what he says, he figures, there's enough distance between him and people like us to where nobody will touch him. You know what I've always feared for him? And I, listen, I do not like this guy. And I'll stand by my statement. If he died tomorrow, I would not miss him. But I've always worried that he was going to piss somebody off one day and they would find where he was and he'd just show up one day dead, or beat the hell out of. His ideas are not well thought out. No, because he's not worried about tomorrow. It's just he's trying to say whatever he can to try to insult and offend today. And then tomorrow he'll come out, be all sorrowful. I fell off the path. I lost my path. My two left feet took me off the path. I got to get back on the path. Let me pick up my cross and get on the path. And then an hour later, he's talking crap again. That path must be very short, very short path. But no, again, making a much bigger screen and much more light than what he's setting in with much less lumens. Because keep in mind that that machine he's using 3600 lumens. I think that's the same one you're using, is it not, Derek? I'll wait to see if you respond to that. But I think that's the same one you said you had. 3600 lumens. This is 1600 lumens and a larger size screen. This is why I never opened the door and people knocked and asked if they could see the screen. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure he's working the store. I have no doubt. Um, putting UST up to the wall and the image, let's calls out everyone. Yeah. Well, you weren't around at the time, I don't think, Derek, but he went after me and I think Crow too for that thing, but he went after me really hard about cookie cutter screens. I'd shown a screen here and he said it matched this wall, which I put out a video. I actually ended up putting out about 3 or 4 videos showing that it didn't match that wall. Uh, but he'll never acknowledge that, right? He'll never say, "Oh, I was mistaken." So there's no sense in even trying to get him to acknowledge that he lied because he's not going to. Um, but I was using about a 3 by 2 or 3 by 2.5, like a test panel. Because I always start with small panels, go to a larger panel, and then move to a full size screen. But he was going on and on about how I use cookie cutters, and cookie cutters have become his mainstay now. Something that he tried to make fun of so many people for. Now that's all he can do. He's either going to show you an 8-inch screen, a 30-inch screen, a 45-inch screen, or a 60-inch screen, and that's kind of where they top out unless he goes outside at night. In the blue house, yes. 3,500. My ceiling is 3,600. Gotcha. Okay. He opened the door yesterday, but the door protects the screen. Yeah, it does. Well, look, like Derek said, we've all noticed this light is cascading across here. It hits the screen a little bit, just like the light he had here. It hit the top of the screen a little bit, but if you focused on the top of the screen, it was washed completely out. But that light isn't hitting down here. But it doesn't matter. Like I said, if you go back here, let me go back to where we were when he was doing his little screen samples. I mean, it's pathetic. He's trying to say, look, here. Now, you see him putting that screen sample up? Look at his screen. Look at this compared to that. Look how bright, how crisp, how colorful this is. Look at that. I mean, that's pathetic. Like I said, you can't even half make out some of the things. He had one, let me see if I can find it. He had one where he was doing white levels and you couldn't even see the wolf or the dog or whatever the hell it was that was sitting to just to the right. You couldn't even see it. I mean, that's how dim his screen is. And once again, with 3,600 lumens, folks, I'm using 1,600 lumens and a slightly bigger screen than what he's showing. I mean, by comparison, you can see that's full. This is 105. So I don't know. I probably got 60, 65 inches or so up here, something like that. But you can see in here, if I get in, you can see this. Look at that. That's terrible. He uses small to get more brightness focused on his tiny screen. Well, yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like if I was looking to buy any of this mess, look at that. If I was looking to buy any of this mess, this would be the major turnoff right here. Because if you can't get better than that on such a small screen, kind of pathetic. I mean, seriously, you might want to think about getting into a new gig. I use factory at 1750 lumens. Gotcha. Well, this is 1600 peak. Probably running somewhere in the ballpark right now, about 1200, 1300 lumens. But he had, I'm trying to remember, let me see it. I think it's right after this. There, there. Let me pause it. Ah, hold on. It switched on me too fast. I'll get it to stop here on where it goes. There we go. You can barely make out the animal over here. You see the tail here, right? And this. But over here, you can barely make it out. I prefer 1350. But to be fair to Kenny Paint, I use factory settings. Well, it's not really being fair because keep in mind, this, that's where the things that you say matter. Because he's telling people we'll pick up at 50 lumens. What he doesn't, okay, and anybody responsible would say, if you got a Pico projector at 50 lumens, you can pick up to like maybe a 20-inch image or a 10-inch image. You're not going to say, I can pick up on a 50 lumen. Well, I got a 2500 or 25 lumen projector sitting right over there in that chair, and it'll pick up on the screen fine. 25 lumens. Don't even need 50 lumens. Now I've got a 500 lumen projector coming in that's actually kind of like the Dingby Mars here. It's close. It's just a little smaller, but 500 lumens that I'm going to use for displays as well. But this is pathetic. When he talks there is no white level. Okay, that's not a white level. That's like a dark gray level. I mean, even when you compare the whites there, it's like white to dark gray green. Really sad looking stuff, man. Just bad. Just bad. But he looks pretty walking down the road. His little slinky chain going, clink, clink, clink. Girls looking at his chest. And like I said, as soon as he smiles at them, they're going to see the back ass end of a water buffalo smiling at him. Mr. Bulbous Head. But I really expect one day, and I may be wrong, and maybe it's good if I wish I am wrong. But I suspect one day he's going to wind up hurt or dead because of the way that he treats people. See, he ain't worth my time to go. There's no way that I'd spend a day in jail over this son of a gun. I'd pay a fine. But I wouldn't want to hit him in the mouth. He might get that gum slime all over my hand. But just pathetic stuff. But the truth is, now, so everybody knows, I want to publicize, he'll be getting a letter from me tomorrow. And the reason tomorrow is because I'm going to construct it. I want to make sure that I have it worded just right this evening. And I've got some plans with my wife and my brother-in-law this afternoon. We're going to spend some time down at the pool, get our butts cool. My unflabby, untopography mapped looking butt is going to be down at the pool. And I'm going to have some fun this afternoon, but tonight I'll be scripting that letter, and that letter will go out to him tomorrow by email. And that's all she wrote. It's up to him. Ball's in his court, because I'm going to do what I'm going to do. See, he thought that we were going to be playing games. He thought that he was being funny when he stole Crow stuff. And like I said, I knew he'd be coming after me. And then he thought he was going to be cute when he threatened to take mine. You notice he didn't do it until I announced that I was taking his FLE. So he always hates whenever I get there before he does. It's just kind of like whenever he was going to order my stuff, I got his in, he never got mine. And I want to put it out there, not that it matters. I think you guys know all this stuff, but who in the hell is going to send Ken a product that they've worked hard to create just for him to do all kinds of perverted crap with it. Who? Who in their right mind? I was going to send him his first order. Guy, you know this, but I was going to send him his first order, but he screwed with the PayPal thing. And, he frauded PayPal in that with a lie, saying that I told him I wasn't going to send him the product or his money back. Hell, I didn't even know what he'd ordered yet. He ordered it like 2 a.m. in the morning, and I didn't see it until about 7:30, 8 o'clock the next morning. And he had already filed a complaint overnight after 2 a.m. He had already filed a complaint with PayPal that I had called him or contacted him and told him I wasn't going to send him his money or the product. He didn't want the product, guys. He never wanted the product. All he wanted was for me to cancel on him. That's what he wanted. He wanted a cancellation because he was afraid that if he got it down in there, he wouldn't be able to fake it out, it being black. Which is why, guys, he's not going to order or wasn't going to order the $40 product from Crow. He's not going to do that because he can't blow that out the same way that he blows out these other screens. If Ken does a walk and talk, he's done. Said he was leaving Allentown. Yeah, well, if you noticed, his walk and talk views have fallen anyway. He had a couple of, I look at this and I'm not trying to give him some levity here by no means, because I think he's just a rat bastard. But if he was smart, he had an opportunity for a short window there where he was putting out the walk and talks and he was getting some decent views. They weren't great, but they were decent considering who he is. And he could have taken that and tried to build something off of it. But instead, he just couldn't keep his mouth shut. He's out there talking about paint mixers that people who were watching don't even know about, don't care about, aren't interested in, because that's not why they tuned in. He said he has a new showroom and he was leaving Allentown altogether. So what happened? He doesn't have it. Yeah, his showroom is maybe somebody's got a bait shop there letting him use the back closet. That'll be his showroom wherever he moves to. I don't know. I mean, the thing that become apparent over the years, and it's been a number of years, it's going on almost 6 years now. But the thing that, that really starts to present itself is that, one, his family don't like him. Like any family, you love them. You don't want anything bad to happen to them. You feel this obligation to help them. But I can tell you, if I was in dire straits and I needed to stay with my sister, she is not putting me in the laundry room floor. I guarantee you, my nieces and nephews would have moved into another room or something, or slept on the couch, or I would have slept on the couch, something, right? But they wouldn't have put me in a damn laundry room floor. That's very telling of just how much they care for this guy. Once again, not saying they don't love him, but we all have people in our families, and this one would be whoo. Can you imagine having to deal with him? It's like if you have a family reunion, you just don't tell them you're even getting together. But anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off here because I'm about to run down to the pool. But I wanted you guys to know that FLE, we're complete. It's been published. If you go onto USPTO site and look up Fusion Light Energy or FLE, it shows as live, shows underneath my name. So all I can say is he's screwed. He probably, in the grand scheme of things, guys, he probably don't care. It's just embarrassing for him because he started out thinking he was going to pull off a cutie. And in the end, he had his ass handed to him in a hat, his jiggly ass and a jiggly hat. Great. Thank you, guy. Say he was leaving Allentown, just that part of Allentown. Yeah, I don't care where he goes. He can go to hell for all I care. And I understand, brother, that's not something you should wish upon somebody, but I think that's exactly where he's headed. He might as well go ahead and get it over with. I'll have a lot of patience. I'll have a lot of compassion and empathy for people that aren't dirtbag, scumbag, rat ass bastards that are trying to screw somebody. When your whole purpose in life is to try to take from everyone around you and give nothing back to the world whatsoever, you just a waste of space, a waste of air. All right. Well, guys, I'm going to get off here. You guys enjoy. Have a great weekend. I probably won't do anything again until next week. Next week, I plan on start showing the new FLE lineup. I'm also going to come back and do the tutorial on gain and lighting environment. So I'll have that stuff up next week over the course of the week. But you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy, stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, guys.